Shalom all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And today I was really in the mood to do a full vibes deck day. And so these are my current faves for when I'm hanging out at the pool, or if you're lucky enough to be near a beach or an ocean at this time, or going to the lake, and you're just looking for a little bit of guidance while you're laying there soaking up the sun. That's what this is going to be all about. And the ones that I'm using here for this particular year are actually a little surprising to me because I've had a lot of brand new deck purchases recently, and most of them did not make the list. So I'm finding that I'm kind of going back to decks that are comforting for me. Maybe it's just where I'm at right now. I'm not really sure exactly why, but these are the ones that are singing my song at this time. So we're going to start with one of my all-time favorite decks, and this is the Crystal Visions tarot deck from Jen Giacoso, I think it is. I will make sure to put her information in the description. I do not have a box for this. It came in a tuck box, and it's buried somewhere in my own boxes. But I love this. It is, I believe, a U.S. Games. So, of course, we have the traditional and typical U.S. Games card stock. Shiny, but not too shiny. I like to say it's sateen, almost like an eggshell. And, of course, I mean, it's reversible. You've got just this beautiful, it calls to me because it's this beautiful pink. And what does pink represent to us? Pink is all about our self-love and our self-care. And I feel like that's exactly what this is about right now. And maybe that's why I'm so keen to take it with me when I'm laying by the pool, because I just want something that, is going to give me the guidance that I need, but I want it to match the beauty of the environment that I'm in. So we'll just kind of take a quick peek here at some of the cards. Here is our Queen of Cups. And, she's kind of laying by her own little pond. She's feeling comfortable. She's feeling confident. Of course, we've got a lot of the purple hues and purple energy here. And I love the lotus flowers in here. We grow through the muck. We grow through adversity. We can grow through love and compassion and joy and support and all of those things as well. Absolutely. And I believe that is sort of the energy of what we're moving into. But we do definitely grow stronger and more beautiful out of the muck if we so choose it. So I like that Queen of Cups energy. And then let's just flip through here and see what else we've got. The Justice card. Justice is really cool. I like that she has the scales here, but they almost blend in. It's almost like you don't even notice them. It's more that you're looking at her and what she's representing, and it's the sword of truth, right? Again, these beautiful lush pinks and purples. I love the green in the background. Very, very serene. It calls to me. Here is a Seven of Pentacles. And with this Seven of Pentacles, she's relaxing by the tree. Normally in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, we see that, the guy is kind of just taking a break. He's standing up and he's leaning on his rake. She's actually fully laid out and she's enjoying the harvest. She's sitting there and she's saying, yeah, there's more to come. There's more work that needs to be done, but I just want to take a break and say thank you. I feel in this particular deck, she's saying thank you. It's a card of gratitude, and that's not normally how I read the Seven of Pentacles, but there you have it. Here we have a beautiful Three of Wands. This is one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck, period, end of story. So I always look for what their version of the Three of Wands is. And this is beautiful expansion through the orb. I joke about it. It's like a crystal ball. There's these crystal balls, and a lot of my friends, we joke about the traditional or the stereotypical fortune teller energy, and how I definitely don't want to be that. And at the same time, I'm a crystal lover and I scry, and I've never actually scried using a crystal ball. I tend to do it with flame, but I love it because it always makes me think of that as well. Like how I have expanded and grown in my spiritual guidance and in my spiritual gifts, and how I'm able to expand into that a little bit more, and how much the visions that I receive have expanded. So it's kind of I want to say like a coming home for me. I also love the little dragon and the little tiger. Or the lion, I should say. Sorry, not a tiger. Here we have the Fool card. And again, represented with that pink, the self care, the self love, self compassion, self forgiveness. Also, unconditional love. This is great to be laying by the pool and, yeah, you got to receive some messages and information. They might be difficult to receive, but man, oh man, I feel really nurtured. I feel like, with this particular Fool card, I'm not afraid to take the leap. You know what I mean? Because I know that I'm loved unconditionally. I know that Source has got my front, back, sides, bottom, and top. And all these beautiful butterflies have already gone through the transformation. So they're going to help me with mine. King of Cups. So cups are coming through today. Again, he's sitting in the same spot by the pond. He's looking at the lotus flowers. They're in front of him, but they're a little further away from him than they are from the queen. And I feel like that's because he has kind of moved beyond that aspect. He's integrated a lot of that. Not that the queen hasn't. The queen is more like she's paying attention to it. She's in it. She recognizes that that's part of her path and her process. He's like, yeah, I'm beyond that. I don't need all of that. I'm just supervising it. I'm overseeing. I'm oversight. Two of Wands. A beautiful direction card. Of course, I love the dragon. The dragon is so fun, and I love the sunset, or the sunrise, depending on how you want to view it. And the world is wrapped up in the dragon's tail. So the dragon, I feel, is very much the one that is instigating the movement forward. Here is a Seven of Swords. And whenever I get this Seven of Swords, it doesn't make me sad. In the way that some of the Seven of Swords ones do. It actually brings a little bit of comfort. I see that, okay, there's strategy and, like, yes, he could be sneaky, but he can also be looking behind him to see if anybody, has caught him sneaking off with, weapons that were going to be used to harm him. He's not trying to harm anyone else with them. He's just taking them away so that he doesn't get harmed. He's trying to be, solutions focused, right? Here we have a beautiful Ace of Wands. And again, we've got that wonderful dragon energy, the fire of the dragon. This also happens to be another one of my favorite cards. I promise you, I didn't plan this in advance. I'm just pulling every third card here. And the Ace of Wands, that inspired action. Everything about this card just makes me so freaking happy. I'm loving these flowers in here because it represents all that the wands represent: the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and the heart, all connected. Here we have the Eight of Swords, a beautiful Eight of Swords, trapped in her own mind. The shadow thoughts, the darker thoughts are coming up and coming through for her. And, she's just trying to figure it all out. And I feel that this is, it's like they could be tying her up or they could be untying her, unwinding her. And I feel like that's something significant. Here's the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a challenging card for me. I still haven't quite been able to figure out why it doesn't always resonate with me, but I just kind of go with it. This one speaks to me, and I see it almost like inner child. Like you could say this is the mother and the daughter or the sisters. I see it as the inner child. So here's me and here's my inner child, and I'm taking my inner child along for the ride. There's healing. This makes me think of healing. And I don't always get that with the Six of Cups. Here's the Hierophant. And I like that he's got the diversity wheel behind him. And I think that's really important too, because with this being a card of tradition and ritual and perhaps limiting beliefs and all of that stuff, but also being a guide in learning, I like that we are incorporating the expansion of the traditions that we're laying out for ourselves. We're opening into our truest identities. Here's the High Priestess. And again, all the beautiful butterflies. The transformation has already happened. So you're tapping into wisdom from so many other sources and souls. You don't have to feel trapped by it. And she just is confident. She stands there and she's open to receiving. She's always in a space of receiving. And I think sometimes that's our goal. Queen of Wands, another favorite of mine with the beautiful lion. And of course, we have the little crystal balls going on here for scrying. And she looks very confident. Moving forward, we have an eagle in the sky, the eagle eye vision. She's going after what it is that she wants. This is very pool vibey for me too. It's very empowering. We've got the fire energy that's coming through. So when on a hot day, you get those messages, you just jump on into the pool and clear yourself off. Another beautiful depiction of the death card. It's soft, muted tones and muted colors. I actually need to look up what this means. Vita mutatur non tolitur. I'm not sure what the translation of that is. I just literally noticed it now as I'm looking at it. So there you go. I have had this deck for probably 5 years now, and I just saw something new. This is why I love tarot. I just love tarot. Here's the moon card, absolutely gorgeous with the fur babies that are in here and representing the moon cycles, night flowers. So the evening tide, the intuition, moths rather than butterflies. So they are transformational, but they transformation in the dark. They transform through shadow work and shadow energy. Here's a beautiful Ace of Swords with the roses. This always says a lot of heart to me. Four of Pentacles. So here, he's hugging the tree, climbing the tree, hugging the tree. This definitely says to me, you're protecting something. You're not feeling safe. It's an invitation to say, okay, what is it that you're running from? What is it that you're trying to escape? Look into it, because you're missing out on what's on the ground because you're running away from it, right? You're trying to escape or hide, and there's no need to. King of Pentacles here. Again, very easeful. I love the wisteria that's, kind of fallen here. Easeful and peaceful, but also showing, he's in motion. He's in movement. But he's not going very fast. He's sauntering. And that's very much that Knight of Pentacles energy. And when I'm at the pool, that's kind of how I feel, is I'm like, I know I got shit to do. I brought my bag of work on top of my bag of guidance, but I'll get there. It'll get done when I'm ready. It'll get done when it gets done. Four of Swords, another absolutely beautiful card, one of my favorites. And this one feels very comforting. Even though she's in red, it doesn't look bloody. You can tell that these are rose petals, right? Roses and rose petals. And that the way that she's laid out, there's snow all around her. So there's purity. She's purifying herself. There's purification that's happening here because she's clearing out her energetic field and she's clearing out her mental field. Yeah, she's still holding one sword, which means that if she needs to, charge and take action at a moment's notice or to communicate something, she can, but she's not beholden to it. She's not locked into that energy. Here's a beautiful Five of Wands. Hi, Neo. Yes, I hear you. Beautiful Five of Wands energy. And what I find fascinating is they've chosen to go with 3 trainees. And then they've also got their pet lions that are also getting into the mix. But they've dropped their wands here. And yes, sometimes you could read that as, it went from practice to real. Like somebody crossed a line here. And, we went from pretend to reality. This is Mr. Neo coming to say hello. But I also feel here like it could be the opposite, where they started to play practice, with training and with that level of intention of how do I protect myself. And then it turns into just a fun rough and tumble. I often think of my canine fur babies when they play fight and they do all this with their mouths. And I mean, it's so freaking funny to watch it, how they're just so vicious, but really there's nothing vicious about it. And so it's lighthearted again. And I feel like this is kind of the energy that we need at the pool. Here's our Two of Cups. Fabulous energy for a Two of Cups. They're bathing in the water. So it's an invitation to get connected with your divine masculine and divine feminine within. Also, if you are involved in relationship or sort of a soul connection of any kind, this is a gentle way to receive that message. Here we have the Devil card. And again, this is also soft too. It's, they're playing on the Garden of Eden energy, but I like that she's bold. She's up front. She even has a little tattoo on her face. She doesn't care. She owns her sexuality. She owns her desires. She takes back her vulnerability. She doesn't feel vulnerable here. She's kind of wide open to whatever is to come. It's almost like she's defying the devil. And I think that's interesting. Here's a Wheel of Fortune, super bright, lots of interesting colors. Of course, we have all of the astrology signs that are coming up and coming through, other symbols. We have the dragon that's coming through to indicate some, the fire energy, the action oriented. And it's a big lotus, comes under a big lotus. So there's going to be big shifts and changes as a result. Eight of Pentacles, the work, the mastery, learning the skill, mastering the skill. And I love that she's sewing on a wheel. She's creating the thread. She's building that up. I think of not Rapunzel. It's Rumpelstiltskin, the princess that's in Rumpelstiltskin. Pricks her finger on the sewing wheel. And, I think it's the mother or something that goes into that and puts the curse on the daughter or however that works. But I think Rapunzel with that. And then finally, here's a Page of Swords. Beautiful page energy. Page of Swords, I always see as a curious card, curiosity, and, shining the light of truth, not afraid to explore the dark, not afraid to be in the dark and the light, also sitting in the purity of the snow. And so there's hope in this card. There's a lot of hope for what's to come. So that is the Crystal Visions Tarot, and I absolutely love that. The next one that always makes me super happy and is great at the pool is the Heavenly Bloom Tarot deck by Noah Akita. And this is also a US Games. I'll just show you the box here, the back. It's a nice, solid box, which is great. And they're long, they're lengthwise. This is sort of a standard tarot deck size. And these are just slightly longer. And I kind of like that. I have big hands, so I don't typically have difficulty shuffling many decks. But if you have smaller hands, I would recommend just shuffling it, sort of this way, and being really careful with it than this way. But for me, I don't have a problem shuffling. It comes with a little book. The book is great. It's short, sweet, and to the point with its descriptions. I like that the font is a little bit larger for the forever 30s like me who have a hard time seeing these small ass prints. It comes with an introduction. It gives you some suggestions on how to use the deck and work with the deck, and it even gives you a place for some notes, things of that nature. And then just check out the backs of this. So again, this is a US Games that veers off of the standard. It's a bit of a thicker, I want to say, card quality than what they usually use, but only slightly. It is super shiny though. So it's a little shinier than some of the other ones, but not to the point where it's annoying. We've got this beautiful rose. We've got the sort of the starburst around it, some of these geometric shapes. It is reversible. And let's get into the imagery because it just makes me so happy. Here's a beautiful Four of Wands. Now check out this Four of Wands. Here we have two people that are just coming together in celebration. Clearly there's a bond here. Clearly they already have something established between the two of them. There's not going to be a ton of guesswork here. And they're leaning into the next chapter of their life. And I just love this. And when we're talking about the pool energy, look, we've got the purples and the blues, a little bit of this, the light and the sunlight. We've got the wands sort of in the background. We've got grapes hanging here, grapes on the vine. Grapevine is the fruits of life and the wine of life, and really just enjoying in what life has to offer. Definitely a card that I enjoy bringing to the pool with me with these kinds of messages. Here's another Queen of Cups, very demure. She is sitting with her hand over her cup saying, okay, I don't want any more right now, but I'm also not afraid to be sitting in it, sitting here with my feet dabbling in the ocean of my emotion. I'm not ready to scoop any more up. but I'm present for it. And I feel that that's a really interesting message to get. Seven of Wands. So typically red is a card of defense. Kind of makes me chuckle here a little bit because she's so badass, right? It's almost like she's holding a machine gun or a shotgun, actually. Chick, chick, like is what I see her doing, but yet it's a sword. You know, she's ready to pull that sword out. She's ready to go for whatever is needed. But we have this energy of she's not scared. She's not worried about anything. She's like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Oops. Here we have the Queen of Wands. I keep pulling similar cards, and I absolutely love when a Queen of Wands is represented with her panther. Now, of course, I love a kitty cat, but I do love those panthers and the panther energy, and so much gold. And I feel that this is really representative of the summertime and pool time, and what the sun represents, how we can be recharged. And Queen of Wands energy, of course, is the wand energy, the flame energy, the fire, the passion, the soul, and it really represents that kind of that summertime energy. Two of laurels in this deck. Laurels is pentacles. And again, we've got some muted color in the background with a little more color that comes to the forefront. And when we're thinking about pentacles, laurels, we often think green. She's not wearing a ton of green. She's using green as the background and the accent. And I love that too, because it doesn't hit you on the face. It's not like, oh my God, let me tell you what this means. It's more that she's like, listen, I'm many things. Yes, I am connected to pentacle energy. I am in balance with everything else that's around me. So, with that two of laurels energy, it is about resource. It's about making some choices, and balance. And I feel like she herself is representing that balance. Yeah, I may lean towards one thing or another, but that doesn't mean that I'm just that thing. King of Swords energy, represented here by a fabulous woman who is all decked out in like pinky red, hot pink red hair. And I think it's kind of like as above, so below, bringing the root chakra to the crown, because her whole body is connected to the crown. So the King of Swords, it's, bringing the heart into the head. And rounding everything out. And I just love this depiction and this imagery. Check out this beautiful Lovers card. Loving the colors here. Again, it's almost like they're bathing in the water, right? And ironically, the Lovers is an air sign. It's represented by Gemini. But this gives you pool vibes, being by the water, and everything is smooth and silky. And it's like, bathing. You're bathing in love. You're bathing in the reflection of yourself in another person's eyes. Here's the King of Laurels, the King of Pentacles coming through. Again, now here we have a lot more of the green being represented, but that makes sense. With a king, he wants to represent and embody what it is that he rules over. And so I feel that this is a depiction that does that. Here's the Tower card. And so we have the Tower structure built into the person, and he looks a little statuesque. He looks like a little bit like a stone statue or a mannequin, and his hand is going to his heart. Like, where's my heart? Where's my heart at? I almost want to say, when I look at this, it's like time to come alive, time to get out of the doldrum, the everyday by rote. So this Tower card does not frighten me. This Tower says time for some inner work, a time for a change on the inside. Here's a Five of Wands. Again, I keep pulling similar cards here. So I like this Five of Wands because you're seeing that there is disagreement between two people that, I don't know, I get the feeling that they really like each other. I also just heard sisters as I'm looking into this. So it could be, sisters that are disagreeing, and, neither really wants to back down. But at the same time, I don't know that it's actually going to go anywhere. And so I just kind of like that energy. Here's the High Priestess. She's divining, and she's receiving what it is that she needs. And again, even the spirit that she's divining, or the information and the energy that she's divining, is blue. So again, that connection to the pool and the water energy. Here we have the beautiful World card, and just so gentle. It's good to receive the World card on most days when you're reading it, but this is even better. I mean, everything is sweet. It's easeful. She's holding a beautiful blue wand. speaking her truth, in her truth fully and deeply. Knight of Wands here, whipping the energy around, a lot of that red force energy, movement ahead, but not totally in your face. The beautiful Two of Cups here. As you can see, the background is a beautiful blue. Eight of Swords. You know, even this, she's kind of bound up. It doesn't make me go, oh, the way that a lot of other Eight of Swords depictions do. It almost feels like somebody's good. It's like she's in a mud wrap or something, and somebody's going to come around in 30 minutes or whatever when her time is up and unwrap her. But it gives her time to really process her thoughts and to decide how she wants to liberate herself moving forward. I also keep seeing like magician energy with this, like the magician who struggles but manages somehow to find a way out of the chains and out of the binds. Here's a beautiful depiction of the Hanged One or the Hanged Man. Loving the flowers here. Again, peaceful, easeful color palette, which makes that, you know, when you're being told that you have to be suspended or pause or surrender a little bit, this feels like a message that I can receive. Eight of Cups by the pool. We're seeing the moonlight, leaving something behind, definitely leaving some of their clothing and their hair behind as they're looking forward to what is coming up and coming through next. And again, we have a Hierophant. I think the universe is trying to tell me something. A beautiful Hierophant is all in the purple. So stepping into your sovereignty, really reconnecting with that intuitive guidance and that intuitive energy, and bringing, as above, so below, bringing that into the day-to-day. So that is the Heavenly Bloom Tarot by Noah Ikeda. Great for pool vibes. Really makes me happy. I'm going to switch some things up a little bit here, and I'm going to throw in a couple of Oracle decks. Here is my absolute, I'm going to tell you right now, this is my absolute favorite deck, Oracle deck to bring to the pool, to bring to the beach, because I find that when I'm by water, when I'm by the pool, not only am I releasing, cleansing myself, there's also a recharge because I'm getting the sun, right? I'm soaking up the sun. And when I get the recharge, I get inspired. It's a soul recharge. And so the Sacred Creators Oracle is by Chris Ann, also the creator of the Light Seers Tarot, the ever popular Light Seers Tarot. This is by Hay House and, mass market deck, a really nice box. You are a sacred creator and you can build the life of your dreams. Comes with a fabulous deck. Not a whole lot of imagery in it, just really great messaging for each of the cards. Each card has 3 question prompts that you get to ask yourself to really stimulate that intuition, to stimulate some thought on what's going on. Beautiful card backs here, a nice quality of card deck. It's in kind of that matte finish, which I absolutely love, but not so matte that it shows all the marks. It is absolutely reversible. It's a similar look on the back, the similar design to the Light Seers Tarot. So I don't think that was by accident. And then let's just look through some of these. Nourish the sacred feminine. I mean, there you go, pool colors. Fall in love with your own story. So when I'm laying by the pool and I'm just kind of contemplating my day or my morning or just trying to chill out, just receiving the card, even without reading the message, fierce serenity, says a lot to me. This makes me think of the Strength card, and it also is the 8, which is the number in the tarot. So, she does, I want to say, do a nod to the tarot in this because we've got Leo the Lion. Welcome the Divine Masculine. And these are great because when you're just laying by the pool, you can think about these things. They're thought-provoking. They're inspirational, and you can sort of dive into it, and you're looking at it, and it's beautiful to look at. And then when you put it to the side, you're still retaining that message and that information. There's, you're not having to jump through hoops. And then you go and you swim and you think about, okay, if I'm welcoming the Divine Masculine, how am I going to choose to do that? What do I want to do with that? And you can do that while you're laying by the pool. It just feels easeful, effortless. The edge of evolution feels messy. Yeah, it sure does. But there's nothing on this card that makes me feel uncomfortable about that. It doesn't trigger an uncomfortability. It actually feels more empowering about that messy. It kind of is like, oh yeah, I don't need to be worried about this big change that's about to happen to me. I don't need to worry about it at all because it is going to be messy. It's going to feel messy, and I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get on the other side of it. Find your sacred flow. Simple. All of the designs are simple, and I like that. They're simple, yet they're direct. You don't miss the message. Overrate your intuition. Sacred mirrors. This one comes up for me a lot too, and I always love it because it's a 33. But it's the sacred mirror, and I believe that each of our soul contracts, each person that we encounter is a sacred mirror. So when this comes up in the pool, I start thinking about people. Who are the people in my life that this could be referring to? Ambush fear with your ferocious dream. A beautiful elephant symbol that's coming up and coming through. Bravely market your magic. That was a big one that was coming through when I wanted to start my membership and things like that. Gratitude. Again, a reminder. You don't just say thank you once and call it a day for your life. It's a continual gratitude for everything that comes into your life and just making it part of your day-to-day practice. Look at the colors too. It looks like a pool colors, ocean colors. Follow through. Again, more pool colors. Make a mission statement for your soul. This is really cool. She has these creator cards, one for each of the elements. I believe she also has creator spirit. So there are 5 elements in this. And this, obviously, you want to read the message for it, but even just looking at it, it's an invitation to connect with the element. And obviously, but being by the pool, creator water says, okay, go take a dip. The water has something for you. Rise. We don't normally see rise in these kinds of colors. We see rise in the, in the reds and the orange and the yellows and the real, driven colors. And this is like, you can rise in a peaceful way. The spark of hustle. It's always, this card comes up for me always when I need to get ready to kind of really hit the ground running. Something is about to shift and change, and I need to be open to it. I need to prepare for it. Stop, drop, and ground. That's always a popular one that comes up. What does your soul say? I always ask myself this question. So when it comes up, it's a nice reminder of what's coming up and coming through for me. Celebrate your wins. And I don't know what this shape is exactly, but I think of a rooster or a chicken. And so like roosters, caw, 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 right? Like, cuckoo. There's this shouting out, right? And I feel like that's what these are. It's like sound waves. Celebrate your wins. Sing your song. Tell your story. Let people know. Toot your own horn. Let people know where you're at. So this is just it's my absolute favorite pool oracle deck to take with me. And in fact, I've often thought about just buying a second copy of this just to keep in my pool bag so that I'm never without it. Okay, we're going to switch over here now to The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. And again, a solid box. This is a Hay House. It's been out for a really long time. It is shiny, which is not, I'm not a fan of that. It's kind of, I call it the old school style of tarot decks, tarot and oracle decks, but I'm also not mad at it. Comes with a great book. And here's the thing. With tarot, most of the time, I don't really pay attention too much to the book itself because I understand the system of tarot. I don't really need the book's message. I'll go to it if I really want to understand the creator's thought process on it or just get a different perspective. But most of the time, I don't need it. With this particular deck, and this is why I love it at the pool, is I love to go and read the message with the card itself because the way that she creates the message really speaks to me. And it allows me to really sink into the reading. It's not like, okay, I'm just pulling a couple cards and then I'm done for the day and I can go and do what I want. This is like, I get to lay by the pool and I get to pull myself 7 cards if I want. And I've got time by the pool to really sink into their messages and to go a little bit deeper. So I absolutely love her guidebook. Just simply because of the way that she describes it, and of course there's a picture for each of them, but you can see how short the message tends to be. So you can read that, and the way it's written, it's almost written in like a mantra style. It gives you a lot of food for thought. She has renamed the suits towards the elements rather than like wands. Wands is fire. A queen of cups, queen of water. But it's really, I want to say you can really sink your teeth into it. It's deep, even though the messages are short. She talks about the different conditions of the readings. She gives you some spread options. So this is another reason why I love to take this with me to the pool because I have time there to really soak in the message. And so let's take a look here. They are definitely an oracle card size rather than a tarot card size. So they're bigger, but I want to say they're standard for an oracle, a traditional oracle. Again, we've got that shiny, not so much reversible, simply because we've got the light on the bottom here on one side and the dark on the other. But honestly, if you're not paying that much attention, you can absolutely reverse these cards. So let's take a look here. The Hermit card. And how interesting, for the very first one, we have the hint of a hermit in here, the hint of a person kind of in the door, but the door is the focus. And so it's that portal, the portal into yourself, hanging keys. There's a lot of like Celtic symbolism in here as well that I always really enjoy. Here's the Page of Earth. We have the Page of Earth, just a youthful little fairy guy. He's got a wand on him. The wand has a little pentacle on it. Earth is the pentacles or the coins. Very earthy image. And I love that there's just a hint, ever so much of a hint around each of these cards. It's almost like it's vintage, meant to look vintage. Seven of Water. And water here is really depicted a lot of times in that greeny, tealy green color. So you can see she's got choice, she's got option. Three of Air, Three of Swords, heartbreak. So we're not seeing a heart in here. We're seeing someone who is covering her heart. She's protecting her heart, and she's got a lot of friends around her who are speaking to her, giving her comfort, offering her messaging and information to help her walk through it. Here's the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands, typically a card of defense. Again, no person in the card itself, but we have the horse that the person might be riding on. And so how does the horse play into that defense? Is the horse in need of defense? Maybe you need to release the horse and then you don't feel like you have any reason to defend yourself. We've got dragonflies that are lit up like fireflies in here as well. So very magical, mystical. Eight of Earth, Eight of Pentacles, mastery, details, the work that goes into something. I absolutely freaking love that it is being represented by a cello. And here's why. I have always, since I started working with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, have always seen the eights as sort of related to the eights from my musical background. So to see it represented here, the eights and the nines, the Nine of Pentacles, I always see as the card of it's gratitude, but it's also like fortitude for the work that you put into, the practice that you put into getting good, right? To perfecting your craft, perfecting your skills. So I just love that. Here's a Ten of Earth, Ten of Pentacles, and she's sitting with her wolf here. She's got her treasure. She's looking to the future, what is to come. Here's a beautiful Strength card. And again, a little bit of that vintage energy. It's very light. It's very light energy. You're by the pool. I don't know that these are waterproof, but I mean, they're shiny enough that if you get a little bit of water on them, you can wipe them off right away and you don't have any problems. But there's nothing here. Even the writing, the scripting is great. The Hanged Man here. It's light. It's easy. It's easy reading. It's easy feeling. Here's the Sun card. We've got the sunflowers as the primary depiction of what's going on here. She's got yellow all over her place. She is yellow. You can't mistake that this person is representing the sun. Nine of air, nine of swords. This is typically a card that can bring a lot of grief and anxiety when you receive it in a reading. I don't feel any grief or anxiety. I feel liberation when I look at this. So being at the pool, again, wanting, perhaps lighter energy, lighter imagery. This is definitely a card deck that does that. Here's the Tower card. This actually feels like illumination rather than destruction. And so it gives a completely different perspective. I definitely will take that laying by the pool. Eight of fire, eight of wands. We have a panda bear. How interesting that there's a panda bear here, that she is, I want to say, releasing out into the world, that community space, that communing space, that messaging, leaving the message out. And the panda bear is the black and the white. So I feel like it can go either way. She's sitting in the middle and she's bringing the color to it. So it's the perspective that we put to something that makes a difference. Here's the Chariot card. Melding opposites to come together for a victory. Willpower that's coming up and coming through. Easeful energy that we're receiving. King of Pentacles, King of Earth coming up. Queen of Water. Again, these are just really easeful energies. So when you're laying by the pool, yes, it can invoke some deeper thought. And again, like, reading a message can definitely invoke some deeper thought, but it's messaging that you don't mind receiving. Five of air. Temptation. Let me just give you an example, a quick example here of the messaging. So this is the Devil card. So temptation, attachment. The material world is my playground, but I need to be careful not to be attached to outcomes. This is a warning to me to watch for excess and to know what's not healthy for me. When this card shows up, it's a sign that I am focused on the material realm and need to be aware of any excess or addictive behavior, my own or that of others. So it just gives you some food for thought. And, in a lot of ways, that's an aspect of the devil that is there, very much so. Addictions are vices. Ace of fire comes in the form of, she looks like she's sitting on a big pumpkin. It's like a pumpkin patch. Also, it gives you almost like a hint of timing with this fall time, autumn season that's coming up. Ace of water. We have a seahorse. And I love the seahorse as the ace of water. Rather than an ace of cups, we're seeing it represented by a creature of the water. Fortune's wheel. We have just a tiny little face, someone's face, and the rest of the card energy is the symbolism that you're connecting with. Three of earth, three of pentacles, collaboration. Ooh, sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze there for a second. I might still sneeze, folks. And there you have it. That is the Good Tarot from Colette Baron-Reid. And again, just a great pool or beach vibe deck. Gives you a lot of really juicy info. And now we're going to just talk a little bit about the Wild Unknown. This is a mini tarot deck from Kim Kranz. And a lot of you know the Wild Unknown. It's been out here for a really long time. It's in one of these, little cigarette type boxes, little flip boxes. Not my favorite. I really actually hate them because they're just so flimsy and they usually tear. But it's a mini version of this. And mini versions are always great for the pool because you can literally throw a couple of them in your bag and rather having them take up a ton of space, you can have 2 or 3 decks that are mini for the kind of the space of one. And so I like that. And of course, we know the back. It's reversible. The cardstock is not the greatest, but it's not horrible either. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. We have the Daughter of Pentacles here. Beautiful deer. These are simple messages, simple imagery that we can work through. The Four of Wands that we're coming through with. Here we have the beautiful Mother of Cups. I love anything with swans. So you can see here, even though it's black and white and you get these little splashes of color, It's gentle, it's smooth in its delivery. So Mother of Cups, the Queen of Cups. She definitely looks kind of queenly in her energy. Swans are graceful. They connect to their feelings and emotions. They can go mother bear on you if they feel that you're trying to attack their young. They definitely go after you, but for the most part, they're pretty even tempered and do their own thing. Here we have the Six of Wands coming up and coming through. We've got the Rainbow of Hope. It looks like it's raining, but I also want to say it's like it's putting out the fires. It's putting out the fires, and there's hope. Someone's bringing you some hope. Son of Swords, the Knight of Swords, pulling out that owl energy, using your wisdom. Mother of Swords, another owl. So this is the Queen of Swords energy. Boundaries, and you can see that in the way that the drawings are depicted. So simple drawings, sketch-like drawings, easy to read out in the sunshine, easy to get the messaging. There's the Six of Pentacles. Here we have the Hierophant. So the black and white with occasionally a little splash of color really gets the point across. The Emperor card, I love that it's represented by a tree. It's been there for a really long time. It's sturdy. It's confident. It has nothing to prove to anybody. It's just doing its thing. Here we have the Two of Pentacles, a beautiful butterfly, and we've got the infinity sign that is incorporated here. Eight of Pentacles, Two of Cups, very, very pretty. This isn't minimalist, but this is definitely, I want to say, more simplistic. And I love that we ended on a Three of Cups, celebration. So a very nice, easy card deck to take to the pool with you to get your messaging and your information. And then we're going to do one more Oracle deck here. And this is Lisa Lister's Self-Sorcery Oracle. And I absolutely freaking love this, especially for the pool. It's the bright colors. It's celebratory. The messages are right on the nose. So this is from Hay House. So the box is really solid, very sturdy. So great to throw in your beach bag if you need to. It does come with a book, and the book is great. The cards are excellent because you don't actually need the book in order to get the message, but the book is so well written and it's so irreverent and I want to say kind of punchy that why wouldn't you want to read the book, right? Why wouldn't you want to get the message? So it's got that sort of that rose petal feeling to it, which I really like. One thing I do not like, and a lot of the Hay House authors do this, is they don't go in alphabetical order. So you have no choice. If you want to read the message, you have no choice but to actually look it up in the table of contents to get to where it is, because she has things listed differently. So the first section is come to your senses. The second section, trust your instincts. Third section, remember your magic. Each of the messages on here, or that she has card spreads, come to your senses. So she doesn't have the pictures in here, but the messaging is really good. It's a 3-part message. So she has the transmission, whatever she had sort of downloaded, the initial message. She gives you an affirmation to affirm what's been said. And then she gives you guidance. I call it practical application. She says self-sorcery to give you food for thought and something to activate or enact what has come up and come through. Cardstock is excellent. Very, I want to say very thick, very sturdy, matte in its finish, but not so matte that it gets messy. It is not reversible, but man, oh man, is it ever freaking cute. I am not a fan of snakes. I actually have kind of an irrational fear of snakes, kind of ironic that I live in the desert. But I absolutely love this snake. This snake does not bother me. It's cute, and it's about transformation, and it's about transformation through loving yourself. And I think it's just so great. So let's take a look at the cards. I am the mother-loving safe space. So just look at this imagery. I mean, bright, bold colors. She gets really creative in this. We're actually seeing a physical heart, not the symbol of the heart that we're used to. It's actually the heart shape itself. And it's turning into a butterfly. I mean, my God, does it get any better than that? It's just so powerful and in your face. Bite the apple. I dare you. very irreverent, loving that energy. What do you long for? So she's in the bubble bath. You know, she's like, hey, we have time to contemplate. These are just fun. These are fun cards for the pool. Reclaim your center, especially if you're doing a girls party at the pool, or it doesn't have to be just girls. It can be just party with your friends at the pool. You pull out this card deck and you give everybody a reading. And even people who are a little nervous or hesitant about, tarot and oracle, there's nothing harmful here. Like, if you get this message, reclaim your center, that person's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? Let it be devotional. Love this. Very divine feminine in its approach. She's got, the snake coming out of the pomegranate seed, covering her hoo-ha, right? I mean, it's all about us opening to the divine feminine, to stop being scared of our divine feminine selves. And P.S. and FYI, we all, whether we are identifying as male, female, or non-binary, non-gender, we all have the divine masculine and feminine within each of us. So I love that this really brings that to the forefront. Come undone. Beautiful imagery. I mean, just beautiful. When I get this and I'm laying by the pool, this is like fun for me. I just want to go through an entire spread with this. Let your body remember. This is a great card to come out when you are at the pool, because if there is something that you're processing on a physical level, you can release it in the pool. Water energy is so great for that cleansing. Perpetually becoming. Loving the colors, the color situation that's going on here is just incredible. You have the power to choose. Loving the symbology here. Color combos are just fantastic. The whole mother-loving spectrum. She's like a Mother Earth. Wise one. Check her out. She's got the owl on her crown. She's got her glasses so that she can see clearly. She's got these beautiful daisies around her neck. I just love it. A returning back to yourself. I love the Egyptian energy, the Egyptian feel here. I love anything Egyptian. So a returning to your roots, right? Returning to your spiritual roots, returning to your soul space. So this self-sorcery, OMG, peeps. This is just a fantastic pool deck for when you're by yourself, but also when you've got a little pool party going on and you're just kind of hanging out, maybe a little retreat, a care day with your friends. It's a great thing to do. And then finally, this is our last deck for this review. I've got the Out of Hand Tarot deck by Jamie Sawyer. And I did a full review of this deck on my channel. So you can check that out if you're interested. I got this deck, obviously it came out in 2022, and I just did not connect with it until very recently. And I've been absolutely enjoying it. I take it to the pool with me every chance that I get an opportunity to go. It's a deck that is more modern in its approach, more modern and super creative in its approach too. But it really gives me great messaging. It helps me to bring into reality and to pinpoint what actually is going on, especially because I've been reading tarot for so long and I read for others, that I can kind of just get into a routine about it. So when I'm reading it for myself, I just go, oh, okay, yeah, that's this, or oh, that's that. And I don't go any deeper. This allows me to go a little bit deeper. It comes with it's called the Little White Book, Out of Hand. I wish the font was bigger, but it gives you a lot of information. She does keywords. She invites you to, and astrological correspondence. She invites you to tap into the card, just sort of not superficially, but just on the surface at first. Then she asks you to go a little deeper, and she also gives you information on what her inspiration for the card was, what she was thinking about when she created that particular depiction. And she gives you little Easter eggs that help you to connect the card to the actual Rider-Waite-Smith card as well. If that's something, let's say you're a beginner reader and you're not quite sure, what they all mean yet, she helps you out with that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, stunning quality of card decks. It is gilded in a matte yellow. with a beautiful background. She also has another card. She's actually got a new one coming out too, the Felt Tarot. But she has another card deck called Pocket of Peers that also has this same imagery on the back and the same gilding. It is matte. It is rose petal finish. Let's take a look here. Ace of Wands. So clearly it's about creativity, I always say it's inspired action, but this is about creativity, taking the brush, using the brush to get your ideas across, to get your ideas out. She does a lot of work with tattoos on the people's hands in this deck. So we get to see the essence of the other cards in that deck. Seven of Pentacles. So she's baking here. What is she baking? She's baking these pentacle cookies and she's testing it out to see if it's ready. Makes a lot of sense. Eight of Cups. Walking away, throwing out the trash. What cups do I no longer need? The Star card. I love this. They're measuring the constellations, and this is just such a creative deck because there are no people, like no people's faces in the deck. All you see here are the hands, and the hands have to explain the essence of the card meaning. Ace of Swords, Seven of Cups. Just super creative. And the coloring feels nice, even though it's bordered in black. When you're at the pool, it feels really good because then it makes the color stand out. King of Swords, the Moon. Check out this Moon card. Beautiful with the reflection that's coming back to you. The Emperor, signing contracts. I keep pulling the same cards throughout this whole reading. I'm sorry, guys. It must be my energy that's on there that keeps pulling all the eights today. Here's the Five of Cups. Loving this. She's planting some things, or there's coffee here that's going on. The cups have broken. And, how is she feeling about that? What is this saying to you? It leaves a lot for interpretation and a lot for you to, when you're laying by the pool, to really think about it. What is it that you're getting? The Magician, another painter energy. Knight of Swords. Here's the Empress card. Loving this. The tattoos are on her belly, on her arm. Six of Pentacles. Generosity, reinvestment. Here's a beautiful Ace of Pentacles coming up and coming through. So when I'm laying by the pool and I'm really wanting to kind of get deep into a reading, but not so deep that I'm like avoiding the pool or avoiding swimming, this is the deck that I pull out because it really causes me to go into deep thought, and then I can take that deep thought into the pool. Two of Cups, Knight of Wands. I love this. It's a firefighter. Here's a Three of Cups. Here's a Page of Pentacles. Oh, here's a cool one. This is a Temperance card. The Bartender, mixing up the drink. And here is a beautiful Nine of Pentacles. Creating the jewelry. What jewelry are you going to wear? The opulence, the luxury. You've put a lot of work into this. You've got so much that you can choose from. And so how will you use it? So that is my pool vibes for 2025 so far. I really hope that you got a lot out of this review. If you like, some of these decks, I highly recommend you check them out. There was nothing here that I showed you guys that is out of print. So that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. I know a lot of people, get upset when there's reviews and they can't go ahead and get the deck. I try to mix that in a little bit here and there, but it was so fun to connect with you guys and to share this with you. I am a pool girl. I love the sun. So being able to mix that with tarot and oracle and receive those spiritual messages is just chef's kiss. And so I hope that you feel the same way. Please feel free to comment on any of your favorite decks or any of the favorite decks, the pool decks that you use or anything that was here. And we will see you for our next segment of Divinely Decked as part of my Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life. I hope you guys have the most amazing one. We will see you on the flip side and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.